caught in the crossfire. It's caught in the...
What's up, guys? Lance the Obscure Movie Guy coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. Today, we're going to be going over a Zach Keene film. Now, if you guys have been following me, which you should, you guys might recognize the name Zachary Keene. I've talked about a couple of his films on this channel before, and we're going to do it again. He's got a new one that's just getting ready to come out from SRS Films. However, this was filmed back in 2021. It's finally getting to see the light of day thanks to SRS Films. Today, we're going to be talking about Black Tiger.
I can't get out. I'm in too deep.
That last job you sent me on, it was a setup. Someone's out to kill me. Who hired me?
Even professionals have a weakness. And I aim to find his.
Now, Black Tiger is a micro-budget film done by Zachary Keene, and it's basically about a hitman being hunted down by other hitmen for a killing that he had done many moons ago. Fortunately, somebody got caught in that crossfire, and they want him dead for it. It's got a pretty quick, concise opening sequence that establishes two things. One, he is a hitman, and two, there are people after him. After that, we've got a pretty cool opening credits scene that, coupled with the music and the aesthetic and the graphics that they use, plus the camera grain, it gives a very 70s feel. So you have this very 70s nostalgia feel, even though the film is modern day. They have cell phones, they have regular cars, but it gives a very 70s feel with the aesthetic, graphics, music, even though it's modern day. Very cool, very well done. Now, as far as the traditional fundamentals that I usually run down with films, as far as the cinematography, camera quality, picture quality, audio, a lot of that stuff in this film is not that good. And Zach knows that. Here's the thing with Zach. Brilliant mind. Let's get that out of the way. This kid, we're going to talk a lot about him in a little bit. This is a very much do-it-yourself type film. It's shot with some trick camera angles for a couple reasons. Man, I wish you guys could really sit down and watch this. You can if you go to SRS Films and buy the Blu-ray. So here's the thing with Zach. Like, it's very do-it-yourself. It's very low budget. And I'm talking low budget, like probably no budget. It's whatever's in his wallet. But he's very good at doing things himself. So he uses some trick camera angles that, one, are a bit of a throwback to how films used to actually be shot, and two, clever angles to create more characters than actors. It is very apparent in some scenes that Zach is playing two different characters. He's the hitman, he's also the police officer, but it's shot in a very specific sequence using some trick photography that it's supposed to be two different people. Yes, it is Zach doing both characters, but you don't necessarily get that. Now, there is later in the film where there's a little bit more apparent that Zach is playing two different characters. But still, part of the way this is shot is also shot, in essence, how things used to be done. His filmmaking is brilliant to me. It's really a throwback to how films used to be and how much we've lost as filmmakers in the modern age. It's very guerrilla style. Like I said, he uses very specific camera angles. Again, not only as a nod to how things used to be done, but to also try and hide some things. he's incredibly intelligent with this stuff. He really is. If you're a casual viewer, you are not going to appreciate his films. If you're a filmmaker, especially a low budget do it yourself kind of guy, you're going to watch this and be like, crap, why didn't I think of that? These are things that I could be doing. Why aren't I doing this? He's really smart. I'm telling you, go check out his YouTube channel, Cinema Fanatic. Like him, subscribe to his YouTube channel. I am. He does a lot of cool trick photography, a lot of cool do it yourself special effects, and he puts them in his films. As far as the plot goes, like I said, we're not breaking a whole lot of new ground with the storyline. There is a bit of a twist um, with who's after him and why, and that could have gone a couple different ways. He chose the route that he went with it. I kind of wish he would have chosen a more moral high ground and more dramatic turn with the reveal, but in any regards, it is a little bit of a twist in the storyline towards the end, and you find out exactly why this guy's after him, what he did to deserve it, and what has transpired since then. There's also some relatively cool scenes in regards to that storyline. I give you an example. There's a really good scene towards the end where you have a hitman after Black Tiger. Um, they're both very smart hitmen. They're both played by Zach Keene, but regardless of that fact, there's a cool scene in towards the end of the film where the one guy that's tracking Black Tiger, after he finally catches up with him, kind of sets a trap for him and kind of uses Black Tiger's own PTSD against him. And you are aware of that PTSD prior to this scene. So that is something that is established earlier on in the film, and it is used against him towards the end of this film. Thought that was pretty clever how they wrapped that in there. And again, Zach Keene does a good job with his camera angles, his lighting, um, and the way he writes his films. He does a very good job of expanding the film universe that you're watching, despite everything probably being shot like in his apartment, in his backyard, on his block. He does a really good job of expanding that universe. You know, like I said, if you're a casual viewer, this film's not going to be for you. Don't even bother. It's just not for you. If you're an up and coming filmmaker, or if you like seeing do it yourself stuff, this film is in any of Zach's stuff that I've seen so far has been pretty fun to watch. Seeing how this guy basically does feature length films with little to no money and is able to put together a comprehensive story, some pretty clever editing, and a good use of camera angles and lighting to bring all of this together. He reminds me, this is going to sound weird and you're going to have to bear with me for this analogy because it's more personal than anything else, but he reminds me of Justin Wilson. Justin Wilson was an IndyCar driver. Unfortunately, Justin Wilson died at Pocono Raceway many, many moons ago. Justin Wilson only had 6 career wins. He started off as a Formula One driver, went to IndyCar. But Justin Wilson was one of those guys, and I think Robin Miller said it best in his tribute to him on NBC Sports Network that, and I'm going to paraphrase it here a little bit, but if you know anything about racing, you'll understand. But had Chip Ganassi or Roger Penske ever signed Justin Wilson, then everybody else would have been running for second because that's how good he was in a bad car. Zach Keene kind of reminds me of that. If Zach Keene is able to put movies together like this with basically him and 2 other people and $20, and I don't know that he's actually going $20, but I'm just saying, if he's able to do this much with this little, then if an actual studio signed him, everybody else would be running for second. That's how good Zach is at what he does. You have to be a filmmaker in order to really appreciate what he's putting together with the little bit that he has. I can't even explain it. I wish I had the vernacular to try and express how well I think this guy is at making films with what he's got. And again, if a studio backed him, if they were like, here's $100,000, make any movie you want with $100,000, you would all be blown away and everybody would be trying to play catch up for sure. So Zach, don't stop doing what you're doing. And I want to give a shout out to SRS Films for actually picking this up and giving it the light of day. SRS Films, they've done some other projects with some other people that I've dealt with. I know that they've got Keith Hall and Toothman's Very Flattened Christmas, which I reviewed a couple years ago. Keaton, great dude. You should go check out his Facebook page. He's the movie doctor right now. He's watching a movie every day in 2026 and breaking them down for you. So, I mean, shout out to SRS Films for picking this up and giving it a little bit of distribution. And I hope it does moderately well. I'm sure it's not going to explode or anything as far as getting out there, but I certainly hope people do check out this film from Zach Keen and SRS Films. So check out Black Tiger. Go to SRS Films website, order the Blu-ray, follow them on Facebook, like and subscribe to Zach Keen's Facebook and YouTube channel, Cinema Fanatic. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram, and I will see everybody in the next one.